Hi, and welcome to Nac Edition, where we have your latest in news, sports, and weather here in Nacogdoches. I'm Natalie Haddad. Today we take you on a ride at the Piney Woods Fair, play laser tag, and kick off SFA Homecoming Week. Stay tuned for all that and more here on Nac Edition. There's a hidden gem in Nacogdoches, a place that we've driven by many times and didn't think much about. Here's Tanel with more about a place that can take you under the sea, the Divers Depot.
Just down the road on South Street lies one of Nacogdoches' best kept secrets, the Divers Depot. Divers Depot started in 1974, a small business that's ran by Sally Saul and her husband E.K. They've been all over the world and they're always welcoming new people.
I am a dive travel specialist, so I will book trips and I take groups to special diving areas. Say if people aren't comfortable going there on their own, I make all the plans and I take them diving.
Mrs. Sobel is also a course instructor here at SFA. The depot supplies most of the equipment in store for sale, and you can also rent there. The divers course, on the other hand, is only a half semester and they help students become certified divers.
And so they can come and take this program, be certified. A diver certification is good for life. So once you're certified, you can travel anywhere in the world and go diving. We encourage you, if you've been inactive for a couple of years, that you refresh your skills, just like flying or anything like that. But, I mean, how awesome is that to have a reason to travel?
Students from the depot have traveled all over the world, and you'd be surprised how easy it is to become a diver.
Through the dive store, you could actually do it in 3 days. You could actually do all your classroom online and come to the store and we'll teach you the pool skills, and then we go and spend 2 days diving at a local dive site in Huntsville, or we can fly to Cozumel.
And make sure you guys check out the Divers Depot here in Nac. They're the best in town. And for Nac Edition, I'm Tanel Williams.
Stephen F. Austin works to include everyone in all of America's pastimes, including sports. So here's Corbin Craver, who has more on the adaptive sports.
At the HPE complex at SFA, the Adaptive Sports Club is hosting a goal ball game for all to come out and play.
Hello, I'm Corbin Craver, and I'm here at the HPE complex, where the Adaptive Sports Club is currently warming up right behind me to play goal ball.
We're here just to have a good time, to play an adaptive sport and to bond with each other. I think the awareness we like to spread is that if you have a disability, you can still come out and have fun and play a fun, exciting adaptive sport.
I too also had to try out this new go ball game, so I started to have a little fun playing a little offense and defense.
For quite some time, it was here before I came. When I came, it was Beat Baseball. It was just the name of the club. We expanded and we added goal ball this fall, so it became, instead of just Beat Baseball Club, it became the Adaptive Sports Club.
I'm Corbin Craver with Nac Edition.
Last weekend, the SFA Swinging Axes Jazz Band put the class back in classic. Our Jessica Enner will tell us more.
SFA Swinging Axis Aces Jazz Band performed its annual fall concert Friday, October 13th at the Ed and Gwen Cole Concert Hall. Musical pieces included works from Benny Golson, Miles Davis, Mark Taylor, Dorothy Fields, and many more. Originating from the African American communities of New Orleans, jazz has become recognized as a major form of musical expression. Director of the Swinging Aces, Dr. J.D. Salas, tells us his views on jazz and how it benefits his students.
This is just a chance for them to experience the style of music and be more marketable when they go out for a job.
Nearing the end of the concert, former SFA student Barry Martin showed off his vocal skills by singing the most famous Minnie the Moocher by Cab Galloway and Irving Mills. For more information about the Swinging Axis Aces Jazz Band concert and events, visit www.finearts.sfasu.edu. This has been Jessica Enner with Nac Edition.
Last week, Nacogdoches held its 39th annual Piney Woods Fair, an event that is put on by a committee of people from the community. Residents came out all week to the Piney Woods Fair to ride rides and enjoy the usual carnival food like cotton candy and popcorn. The Piney Woods Fair is an event at the Expo Center that residents and even some college students look forward to each year. The fair ran from October 11th through the 15th, with rides that range from merry-go-rounds to the Ferris wheel, plus games that you can compete in to win prizes. The fair was an event that you didn't want to miss. The Piney Woods Fair is a local tradition here in Nacogdoches where people from all over East Texas compete in livestock competitions and live music, as well as commercial vendors bringing in their own barbecue for the masses to enjoy. A lot of thrilling rides and great food is what the fair is all about, a place where the community can come together for a good time. The turnout was pretty great this year as people came out to enjoy the snippet of fall weather. Next year, the fair shall be even bigger and better. This week, we take a look at a different kind of closet, but not the clothes made of, but of yarn. Here is Alyssa Flores to tell us more.
A fiber lover's heaven, located downtown on East Main Street, Yarnia is a knitting, crocheting, and yarn retail shop. They regularly host 3 knitting groups, including a sit-and-stitch on Thursdays, and is home to the Nac Knitters. They are a local knitting group who also volunteer to teach beginning knitting and crocheting for free to help inspire the community to get involved in the art.
Yarnia has been open for a little over a year, and owner Valerie Binning plans to add much more, expanding the small shop.
The group is currently working on headbands and mandala crochet rugs. Apart from classes, the store sells plenty of yarn and a variety of needles, as well as handmade items like hats and gloves.
My favorite thing about Yarnia is obviously the yarn. There are so many colors, and it's something I appreciate as I use knitting as a pastime and a stress reliever. I'm still learning, but it's definitely become one of my favorite hobbies.
For a beginner like Alexis, the store also sells books and magazines on different stitches with step-by-step instructions. More than just yarn and needles, it has plenty to offer the community of Nacogdoches. That's the stitch from Yarnia. For Nac Edition, I'm Alyssa Flores.
This week, SFASU's homecoming and bonfire is upon us. But before the fire can get lit, there are plenty of activities that students take part of, like dyeing the Surf and Steve fountain water purple. The tradition of homecoming has been around since 1935, becoming an annual fall event for the school and community. And the celebration towards the big event has only gotten better year after year, adding in concerts, parades, and themed t-shirts. The homecoming bonfire will take place this Friday, October 20th on the SFA intramural fields and is open to students, faculty, and area residents. We hope to see you there. When we return, we'll take you through an inflatable obstacle course of laser tag. Stick around with us. This is Nac Edition. Was being a kid not the best time ever? Nap time, snacks, and tag, you're it. Well, laser tag, that is. Virgil Hatfield has more.
Here at Stephen F. Austin, we take our fun seriously.
Stephen F. Austin Student Activity Association put on an event that brought out the Warriors here on campus. Laser tag was offered to all students who want to participate. Free food and gift bags were given to those brave enough to take on their fellow students. Many lined up to take on the task. From then, they were separated into groups of 9 and assigned to teams for friendly competition. This event has taken place for the last 2 years and has had a bigger turnout every year they do it. All officers in SAA get the opportunity to put on an event. And this year's coordinator of the event, Armando Gonzalez, was happy to be bringing the student body together for such a fun cause.
70 kills, okay, red team, that means you must. That's why I joined SA. I just like to see people happy, love, doing stuff for the SFA community. Probably just the main reason why, yeah, definitely.
The participants took the game seriously, going as far as challenging each other to rematches and trying to break ties they accumulated in the past games. But the question was asked and answered. If SFA had a laser tag team, will we be ready to take on Sam Houston?
Of course. It could be Sam Houston, everything. I think it'll be fun.
For Nac Edition, I'm Virgil Hatfield.
Nacogdoches Historical Foundation is preserving yet another one of Nac's historical buildings. Here's Ebony Coleman with more.
The Nacogdoches Historical Foundation held its second annual beefsteak event at Mass Hall in downtown Nacogdoches. Over 220 people purchased tickets to attend the event at $50 per person. The ticket included an apron to be worn at the event that participants could take home and a buffet of all-you-can-eat beer, bread, and of course, beef.
Beefsteak event is something that started, a couple of hundred years ago on the East Coast. And it was started by politicians raising money for their campaigns.
Several Nacogdoches restaurants donated food for the event, and SFA's hospitality students were servers for the 7-course meal. Even though there was lots of eating and socializing, everyone that was there knew exactly what the purpose of the event was for. The Zion Hill First Baptist Church was the first African-American Baptist church in Texas. It was built in 1914 by famous German architect Dietrich Rolfs. He is also known for building several other buildings around Nacogdoches. Zion Hill Baptist Church was known for being the social hub in the African American community, with a congregation of roughly 100 or so members in 1920. In the late 1900s, former Pastor Wade decided that the church was getting too expensive to maintain and in need of several major repairs. Then he decided to move his church to its present home on Northeast Stallings Drive. Named after the original Zion Hill, this church was a much bigger facility that could accommodate the growing congregation.
The former building and the former congregation is our history. And October 15th, the third Sunday of this month of October, we are celebrating 138 years of service in the community of Nacogdoches.
The church has already received a new roof and has undergone extensive interior restoration. The next steps will be to repair the floors and several of the original pews. The Historical Foundation would like to see the church become a museum or a wedding venue. Even though Zion Hill Church is no longer using the building, it will always remain as a pillar in the community for what it stood for then and now. And it will forever be in the hearts of the Zion Hill congregation and the African American community in Nacogdoches. Proceeds from the Nacogdoches Beefsteak event will go towards the restoration of the Zion Hill First Baptist Church, which is behind me. I'm Ebony Coleman for Nac Edition.
The word historical is almost an understatement when we talk of our town of Nacogdoches. From our brick roads downtown, Hotel Fredonia, parks, and beloved SFASU, right before the city limits headed north is Millard's Crossing. 46 years ago, Rudy Millard told his family he wanted to start a flea market, and for the next 4 decades, during every second full weekend of each month, a flea market was held on the Millard's Crossing property. That makes for 528 weekends. In 2015, when Rudy Millard passed away, the family knew the flea market would go with him too. This past weekend was the final weekend for the flea market extravaganza on the property, and vendors will now have to find a new place to sell. Vendors on the property were told that Bright Corporation off of South Street here in Nacogdoches have bought the property and plan to place an operating cotton gin on what used to be the grounds for the flea market and would also be the home to a new museum. Although this is all to be considered speculation at the moment, we hope the new owners luck on this historic property. Music wasn't the only thing floating through the air this weekend. Our Jessica Enner has more.
We're standing outside of the Thomas J. Rusk Elementary School for the Hands Up 5K Fun Run and Walk event. Today marked its 4th annual Hands Up 5K Fun Run and Walk fundraiser. Men, women, and children of all ages participated in the event. What better way to kick off the run than with special appearance from the SFA men's basketball team? Basketball player Stephon Fisher tells us how the Hands Up 5K Fun Run and Walk impacts the team.
This run just helps us out with support with our basketball team and is giving back to the community.
Stops along the path included North Fredonia Street, Park Street, Ferguson Street, and many more. Executive Director Helen Stevenson explains more about the fundraiser and how it benefits the Nacogdoches community.
And so it helps to provide funding for our ministry, which is kind of an adult education ministry. What we do is we teach job and life skills training to women in need, women and men in need of improved employment skills and just encouragement.
Medals were given to first, second, and third place winners in men and women. First place men medal went to Stuart Bryan, who tells us his experience.
Couldn't think of a better place to do it here in the Piney Woods of Deep East Texas. Had the Stephen F. Austin men's basketball team out supporting us. Really had a great time today. Good run, great cause.
This has been Jessica Ennard with Nac Edition.
Well, it's that time of year again. The leaves are falling, pumpkin patches are appearing, and Halloween is just around the corner. Get a jump start on your fall decorating and pumpkin carving by visiting Christ Episcopal School. The Christ Episcopal School is having its annual pumpkin patch fundraiser. The patch is located on the field between the school and the Christ Episcopal Church. The fundraiser is open to members, students, and of course, the public. This is the 20th year the Christ Episcopal Church has partnered with Pumpkin Patch USA. A percentage of the proceeds from the fundraiser will go back to Pumpkin Patch USA because they are the ones who are responsible for growing, harvesting, and delivering the pumpkins to each school or church they partner with. The school keeps the remainder of the profits to use toward anything they may need. The bigger pumpkins can cost anywhere from $50 and the smaller ones being $1 or 75 cents. Families can come out to take pictures and pick out pumpkins with their children. The pumpkin patch goes on through the end of October. As long as there are pumpkins available and they are sellable and not rotten. The pumpkin patch will be open Monday through Saturday at 10 a.m. until dusk and on Sundays 12 noon until dusk. Stephen F. Austin organizations can often be found outside our student center fundraising for worthy causes in which they stand for, such as their philanthropies. But more oftentimes than not, these organizations need more help than they can get from the student body alone. With a student body presumably on a student-friendly budget, organizations are asking the community to help them in their fundraising. Pi Kappa Phi held a fundraiser last week for the Ability Experience in order to raise funds to serve people with disabilities. For 72 hours, they kept a bike in constant motion without allowing it to stop. With an $8,000 goal, they fell short, just $1,300, but they continued to fundraise year-round for the community. Zeta Tau Alpha spread the information of breast cancer awareness, and Dancers Against Cancer invited citizens of Nacogdoches to donate blood to their blood drive held on campus in honor of cancer awareness. They received participants from the student body as well as returning blood donors from the community. If you would like more information on how you can help these organizations as well as others on campus that support causes that you too support, call the SFA Information Desk at 936-468-3401. And when we return from break, we'll have weather and sports with Trevor and Colton. Stay tuned. This is Nac Edition.
Welcome back to Nac Edition. I'm Trevor Bullard, and we're going to have the weather for you. So for our national weather, as you can see here in Seattle, it's in the low 50s, and guess what? It's Seattle, so it's raining, as always. As you can see, California is sunny and beautiful. It's going to be in the 80s, so LA, if you ever go to LA, still pretty. Over here in Texas, it's in in Houston, it's in the 80s and sunny again. Miami is not how it normally is, and is unfortunately rainy, but in the 80s, so most of the country seems to be in the 80s. And New York is 57 and cloudy. So, you know, if you go to the Big Apple, it's just going to be terrible and cloudy outside, but that seems to be a normal thing in New York. So let's go to our local weather. All right, so pretty much in our local weather, in Tyler, it's 82 and sunny, and in Nacogdoches and in Lufkin, it is beautiful and in the 80s. It's 81 here and 81 in Lufkin. So all across East Texas, it's just beautiful and sunny. Let's get our 5-day forecast so we can know what's coming up for us. All right, so for our 5-day forecast, it's going to be 81 for the high today and sunny, and 57 for the low. So a little cooler. We're getting that nice, beautiful fall weather that we've all been hoping for. Tomorrow we're going to have cloudy and just cloudy and a low of 57, high of 79. So still pretty nice outside. But unfortunately for the weekend coming up with homecoming, it is going to be 79 for the high, 62 for the low, but thunderstorms starting on Sunday night. So it is just going to be not that great outside. Saturday is going to be more rain, 82. It's just going to be not that great. And Sunday, unfortunately, more thunderstorms. So if you do go out for homecoming weekend, maybe bring an umbrella and make sure that you are prepared. And since we do have homecoming coming up, let's kick it to Colton because he's going to have us about the homecoming game.
Thank you so much, Trevor. Well, SFA fans, SFA did pretty well this past weekend. We advanced our conference standings in 2 of our sports. Let's take a look at football right now. The Lumberjacks took a loss this past weekend, sadly, while they were away playing the Central Arkansas Bears, putting us in 6th place in the Southland Conference with a 3-game losing streak. The Bears started their lead within the first quarter, scoring a 60-yard pass touchdown, but the Jacks did not let them keep their lead for long after going back and forth and scoring touchdowns. The game was tied 14-14. Then after field goals were scored by both teams, the score was tied 17-17. After being tied 17-17 for nearly 19 minutes of play, SFA broke that tie when it went 55 yards on 11 plays in 4 minutes and 15 seconds, halfway through the 4th quarter. The drive ended on Ruiz's field goal that put the Jacks at 20-17. With only 3 minutes left in the game, this lead would be short-lived as Central Arkansas got a 61-yard return from the kickoff by Cedric Batal, putting the Bears at the SFA 38-yard line. Central Arkansas Bears then scored the game-winning touchdown with less than a minute and a half left in the game, putting the game at 24-20. You know, this may be a loss in the books, but I'm still proud of our Lumberjacks. They went up against Central Arkansas Bears, who is not only now #1 in the Southland Conference, but also number 6th in FCS. So with only losing by 4 points with our backup quarterback, it's not that bad, and we should definitely still be proud of them. All right, guys, we're going to kick it off to volleyball. SFA ends Texas A&M Corpus Christi's Islanders home court Southland streak with a 3-2 victory. At the start of the game, the Lady Jacks received a pair of kills from Coleman as part of a 3-0 run. The Islanders came back with an 8-1 run to take the 8-4 lead. Then Texas A&M Corpus Christi Islanders maintained the advantage until Ayana Williams took charge with SFA trailing 19-16. Corpus Christi then maintained the advantage a little while later, but then SFA came with the remainder of the frame, allowing them to win the first frame 25-23. The next frames were back and forth as the Lady Jacks faced off against the Islanders. The Islanders won the next 2 frames 25-22, and then the next frame, the third frame, 25-23. The Lady Jacks won the next 2 frames 25-17, and finally the last frame 15-13, winning the match for the Lady Jacks. The Lady Jacks defeated Texas A&M Corpus Christi on the Islanders' home court, accomplishing something that no other Southland Conference team has been able to do since 2014. So way to go, Lady Jacks. The Lady Jacks volleyball team is now ranked 2nd in the Southland Conference. So Axum Jacks. All right, guys, now on to soccer. SFA only allows 1 goal in their 2-match series this past weekend against Southeastern Louisiana and Nicholls State University. The Lady Jacks soccer team had an outstanding weekend, winning both games they played, with scores being 3-1 against Southeastern Louisiana and 3-0 against Nicholls State University. The top scorers for these games were Brianna Moore, Hannah Barker, Marie Gillespie, Caitlin Termini, and Sabrina Segovia. Goalie sophomore Ellison Smith managed to pull off a clean sheet against Nicholls State University, which is no easy feat to say the least. These wins put SFA 9-6 overall and 6-2 in the Southland Conference. The Lady Jack soccer team is now ranked 3rd in the Southland Conference. Y'all, take a look at this goal. Take a look at that back goal. Half field. That's insane. Midfielder, it's insane. All right, guys, we're going to switch off to homecoming. Well, the Lumberjacks fans, the next time to see your Lumberjacks play is going to be homecoming weekend, and that means your next opportunity to see them is in action will be this Saturday at Homer Bryce Stadium at 3 p.m. for the homecoming game, where they will face off against the Houston Baptist Huskies. The Huskies are 0-4 in conference and 1-5 overall, so maybe we'll be able to pull a win against the Huskies and break our 3-game losing streak. So be sure to come support your Jacks. Hopefully it's not raining. Bring a poncho, rain jacket, umbrella, something like that. Go cheer on our Lumberjacks. Bonfire should be pretty lit. And so that's all we have for sports. I'm going to pass the ball on to Natalie.
Thank you, Trevor. Thank you, Colton. Clearly, we are very excited here at SFA and in the NAC community about homecoming. Were either of you involved in that Traditions Council student parade that went through campus the other day?
I was not. I saw it on Snapchat, but it looked like a lot of fun. I wish I could have been a part of it.
They were passing out hats and purple beads and umbrellas with little frilly things on it, and everyone followed their Traditions Council into Surfing Steve and dyed, as they dyed the water purple. So I think everyone is feeling the spirit.
Yeah, I was going to say I saw some of my friends on Instagram. They were dunking, getting the water purple or the fountain purple for the homecoming.
All purple here at SFA. Thank you so much for watching a NAC Edition with Colton Hart and Trevor Bullard. I'm Natalie Haddad. Keep tuned. Thanks for watching.